Well, Senator Fred Thompson hasn't even officially jumped into the Republican race for president yet, but he must be doing something right because the New York Times is already taking pot shots at him. The former Tennessee senator and his younger wife now on the hot seat with the Times, which calls his wife, Jerry Thompson, a trophy wife. A trophy wife? Joining us now to discuss it, syndicated radio host and Fox News political analyst Tammy Bruce, and Democratic strategist and a Fox News contributor Bob Beckel. Good morning, Tammy and Bob.
Good morning.
Hi there. How are you guys?
Okay, so the New York Times is purporting to analyze whether Fred Thompson's much younger wife will be seen as a trophy wife. He's, I think, 63 and she's 40, something like that, 64 and 40. Is this real, Tammy? Is this an actual concern, or is this the New York Times trying to smear her before Fred Thompson's even officially in the race?
I personally love it that someone who's 40 is considered much younger. I've never quite heard my age in that phrase in the same sentence before. However, the truth of the matter is, isn't that really incredibly progressive and liberal and feminist of them, comparing a woman to an actual inanimate object? Clearly, it is desperation. They're not attacking him. The feminist movement, of course, the feminist establishment here in America said nothing. And I think he should use that as a badge of honor. She should use it. And it really does expose what this race is about, really. It's about a section of politicians and the establishment that does not respect women, does not respect Americans, versus those who do. And I think it's going to backfire, and frankly, I think the Thompson campaign should use it.
What about it, Bob? You know, they say that they're just asking the question because others, like Joe Scarborough over on that other network, compared her to a stripper. The New York Times says, hey, we're just asking the question, but then they go on to talk about her gold lame wedge sandals and her plunging necklines and her bleach blonde hair as if those are problems, as if the American public will hold that against Fred Thompson.
Well, the good news is that nobody heard Scarborough say that on the other network. But, you know, it does have a lot of resonance out on the Internet. I'm amazed by it. The New York Times should not have done it. I agree with Tammy on that. But it's banging around the Internet a lot. Now, I have some experience with this. I was married to somebody. My ex-wife was considerably younger than I was, not a trophy. Of course, that would go both ways, I might add. But, you know, it was amazing to me how women, older women, were angry about that. And, you know, so to a certain extent, I suppose there may be a group of the electorate out there that would be bothered by it. But I think Tammy's right. If I were Thompson, I'd pick that article up and tell them enough's enough, shut up, and let's get this behind us.
Tammy, do Democrats really want somebody's spouse to be the issue? I mean, if we look at Bill Clinton, his affair with Monica Lewinsky, he was 50, she was 22. Is this a good idea?
Well, I think what's interesting here is that none of these issues are looking at the nature of a relationship between a husband and a wife. You look at the Clinton relationship, and it seems to me to be a business arrangement. You look at a real loving relationship that the Thompsons have, and that seems to irritate the establishment media and the left side of the spectrum. Forget about age. We're looking at a dynamic where relationships, a commitment to people. Listen, the Reagans, I guess Nancy Reagan then was a trophy. She was the second wife and younger. Let's get real here. It exposes the New York Times for what it is, and we can elevate the argument. The Thompson campaign should say that Fred Thompson actually is the trophy husband.
Right. Well, either way, if they have a happy marriage, they've both won. I'll give you the quick final word, Bob.
Yeah, I would say this. They've got very young children, and I think, frankly, that is an advantage. I mean, I think it humanizes Thompson that much more, having little kids around.
Sure.
And let's remember, the first, quote, trophy wife was Jackie Kennedy. I mean, I think John Kennedy was 14 or 15 years older than his wife. So I think it's much ado about nothing. But, you know, if the Times has nothing else to write about and Scarborough has nothing else to talk about it's the hot days of summer. You know?
Mrs. Thompson should start wearing pillbox hats. That's what I think.
Not bloody likely, but I do love wedge sandals. I'm with her on that. Tammy and Bob, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks, guys.